Hey, this is John Wiswell again. A couple more things. One real quick is the asterisk when you're searching. So I showed you the or, but if you've got something like theory, theories, theoretical, theorizing, you can just use the stem of a word and then put an asterisk. So here's nurse for nurse, nurses, nursing. Of course, that would pick up nursing homes, which is an interesting question, but be aware of that. The other thing I wanted to show you, introduce to you, is the concept of PICO. And here I've got a little discussion of it. I've attached it on one of your nursing pages. The use of the acronym PICO to help you break down your problem into a more answerable, this is the way they say, answerable question. So the P in PICO is your problem or population. So here's an example: stroke victims with swallowing disorders. So we might want to use stroke swallowing. Well, that's two words. I think I would probably use them both. And then if you have a new intervention, you can search on that term. So maybe it's a drug. And then comparison, so maybe a previous drug, already established drug, or a placebo. A lot of times, like for, say, eating disorders, or, it might be an educational intervention. So there are all kinds of things that could be for intervention or comparison. And finally, the O in PICO is an outcome. And in this case, for stroke victims with swallowing disorders, it might be ability to eat solids without any help. But you can think of a lot of them. I know in the nursing guide, somewhere in there, I've got a link to an e-book about nursing relevant outcomes. So, it might just be mortality. It might be, leaving the hospital. There are all kinds of outcomes. So think about breaking down your language that way. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take an example of it. Let's get rid of nursing theory. So let's do stroke. This is from my communications disorders class. But so anyway, well, let's see. Let's just try. I'm not sure this would work, but the most distinctive word in the outcome is unassisted. I'm not sure that's really going to work. But seeing, we're actually leaving out the I and the C here. And a lot of times I come to a problem and I do the P and the I. Okay, yeah, well, there's a failure. But let's go ahead and just do the P. And a lot of times, as I go forward, of course, a lot of times you'll be searching on problems where you know a lot about the possible interventions and comparisons. But one thing I can do, is start with a P and then see what kind of interventions are used and start adding more. So, but part of the concept of PICO is simply the idea of chopping up your language. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to work with y'all.